The first picture is an image of George and David when they were little kids. And the second one is a copy of the extract from the newspaper that we talked about, that I'm talking to David about, mentioning the use of the word crippled, referring to people with disabilities. Hey everyone, how are you guys? Okay, so as I promised with the first video I did on perspectives, that I shared my story, my personal story of the near-death experience, of a near-death experience that I had. I thought about having this project to just share with you information about other people that I have been interviewing, and some amazing people who are willing to help share their experiences, their thoughts, and I think it's a cool project, so it can make us reflect on topics that are important in our lives. You know, so I talked to the first one, and in fact that was an introduction to the project. I don't call that the first video because I just shared my story and I kind of explained what Perspectives by Jacque was going to be, that it's basically me talking to some people, or making videos of some experiences that I've been having and sharing with you. It's just interesting to kind of share those things that I've been learning throughout my life. And so the very first video that I decided to put together was a video with a person that I really love. He's a very special person in my life and my family. And this person is David Tome, my brother-in-law. So David is a very nice person. He is a very kind person, very genuine. And I think David really has a lot to contribute to all of us because of the way he thinks about different points. The main motivation I had to interview David was because of his perspectives of his own life and his situation. So David was born with cerebral palsy, and so he's been in a wheelchair because of this condition, and the way he perceives different things that are happening around him is very interesting, and that's what I wanted to share. I see many people getting so mad about so many situations, when I see David being very understanding about lots of interesting points that he's going to share in the video with you. And one interesting thing is that what triggered somewhat my interest in starting to share these stories was when I saw one post on his Facebook page that he had a picture of an old newspaper article with his picture on it, using the word crippled to refer to people with disabilities. So we had a very interesting conversation about names and the way we kind of process language towards the politically correct, or the whatever we name, that sometimes we don't know the words to say. Are we going to use this person is disabled, this person has a disability, or as they mentioned in the past, crippled? That is a word that people don't use anymore. For me, it's very interesting. I love language. English is not my first language, so I'm always very careful with whatever language I'm going to use. And one thing that I do, that I think everybody should do, is just ask people. You know, so that's what I did. I asked David. I just wanted to film our conversation, and he was very kind to allow me to share with all of you guys, and that's what you're gonna watch. Okay, so David Tome is gonna share with you his experiences on life and some of his perspectives on different topics. Okay, hope you enjoy. Hey, so David, thank you so much for this. So I'm gonna leave it a little open, okay? So
I'll talk about anything you want me to talk about.
Okay. So I was thinking about the comments on Facebook that you mentioned. about names that people would give to people in wheelchairs and how it has been changing through the years. So tell us a little bit about that, because in the on the Facebook they were talking about crippled, right? That was the word.
Well, I mean, I really try not to pay attention to words like that because they're only words. I mean, we both know that they're going to be, they're always going to be ignorant people. But what you try and do is just change some of those people. I mean, the old cliche, even if you get through to one person, that's better than nothing.
Sure.
Of course, you want to get through to as many people as you can. But I think you gotta fight discrimination in any form. Even if you have something against the people, you know, or person. Oh, well. But people just gotta learn to get along the best they can. I mean, you can still have your beliefs, but you at least gotta learn to get along the best you can.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. We didn't introduce you. We started by the question and I didn't introduce you.
Okay, well.
So, okay.
Can we start over?
No, let's just do the introduction and I can add.
Well, I'm David Tome, Georgia Tome's brother.
And Jackie's brother-in-law. So David is my brother-in-law, and so I've been married to George for 16 years, and I've known David for 17, because I met you 1 year before. So that's very cool. Yeah, so we were talking about discrimination, David, and you're talking about bringing awareness to people, right? So
yes.
What are some messages that you think you could give to people about how to bring this awareness?
I don't mean to scare people, but let's face it. In terms of this conversation, I like to think of the disabled and the presently able, because I don't mean to scare people, but we all know, you know, that every day, and there's 24 hours in the day, and we know every day there are people that are becoming disabled. So I hope not, but I hope you're not one of those people. But we know that, you know, sadly, there are people joining the disabled all the time.
That's true.
It's sad but true. Or joining the you know, joining the disabled movement, sort of I guess you would say forced to join the group of the disabled every day. It's just a fact of life. And I mean, we both know, or I should, and the audience knows, everybody knows. Everybody, I mean, we age all the time throughout life. And again, I guess it's sort of sad, but it's just a way of life. As soon as we're born, we start getting older. And as we're going to have, I mean, there are problems. Of course, everybody knows. Just with aging. There's only one good part of aging, is that hopefully you gain wisdom by aging. But, and if you believe in a higher power, that's a good part of aging, you know. But I just want to touch on it, so.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the only two possible, and hopefully we gain wisdom. But those are, believe in a higher power and wisdom, which I believe comes from higher power, you know. But I don't want to focus on that. But, you know, some way or another, everybody's going to come disabled in a way. Because Father Time catches up with us all, and we gotta figure out a way to deal with it.
So David, what do you do, like, to motivate you to be inspired, or what are the things that you do that you like, that you have fun doing? So what are the positive things that you have about your life?
Okay. Well, I gotta focus on, I gotta tell you this, that I have a problem with depression. But, you know, I wish I could come up with some great words of wisdom about that, but you just gotta learn to deal with them. And, you know, it's like this. We all have our own crosses to bear, in one way or another. We do. And you just gotta keep on. You gotta you can't, no matter how hard it is, you just gotta keep on and trying. I don't care how old you are, and I'll be the first person to say, you know, what I'm talking about is a lot easier said than done. And you just gotta find a reason to get out of bed to start with. You know, and it's a simple thing. But now, you got to try the best you can to treat people the way you want to be treated. Now, everybody knows nobody's going to do that all the time, because we all have our human frailties. But I feel I've been too redundant in this interview, but you just got to do it. And as long as you don't let drinking or alcohol or outside substance destroy you, you know, I think you got to find any way possible.
So what are some things that have been helping you deal with your depression?
Well, I don't, I don't want to force myself or force some of my ideas on people. Well, one thing that helps me is going to church. But, and everybody's got, and a hobby's a good thing, you know. It's been said, you know, it's been said many times that people need hobbies.
So could I say that your hobby number one is to watch movies and watch games? Or do you have another one?
Oh, I collect baseball cards.
Baseball
I collect
cards.
sports cards.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, as long as your hobby doesn't hurt somebody else, you know, hobbies are good things to have. Something that's you know, occupies your mind in a positive way.
Sure. I like that.
Like it's a very true saying. I think that an idle mind is the devil's workshop. But I don't want to be redundant, but we all got to find a way to get along the best we can.
Sure.
I mean.
So, Dave, and there's one thing that I just want them to know, it's how I'm always like amazed by your memory.
Yeah.
David has this impressive memory that he can remember
it's funny, I don't think
so many things. So
I don't think it's that good.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know it is. And there's this
Well.
whole thing about discrimination and being fair to the other. And that's one thing that I really
Yeah.
admire about just the perception that he has from life. So,
Well,
and it's in
well,
general.
but
right, David? Oops, sorry.
I didn't always have this perception.
So how did it start? How did it happen, you think?
Well,
So is it something new, you think?
well, I mean,
So is it
now,
coming?
being in a wheelchair
Okay.
allows you, well, doesn't allow you, makes you have a lot of time, makes you have a lot of free time. I mean, just like everybody else though, I mean, some people in wheelchairs have a lot more free time than some other people. But You know, instead of worrying about the difference that we have with the able-bodied people, you know, we got to find ways we're alike. Also, you know, because discrimination and stuff like that can destroy you just like a nuclear bomb. A nuclear bomb, it does a lot faster, but discrimination can destroy you just like a nuclear bomb. Discrimination is a lot slower, but you know, it still can destroy you if you let it. And one thing I had trouble a lot with is thinking about the past and some things that happened in the past. But you got to do your best to move on and not let it destroy you like I almost did.
Okay. So you think it's basically when you put these together, when you mention about have a motivation to get up in the morning, you mentioned God, and now not kind of like not focus on the past, just let's keep moving and thinking. Focus on the future and the present.
And I don't care if your motivation to get up in the morning is to walk the dog. But
you have to create one, right?
Yes. Or sometimes you just have motivations. Sometimes you do need to kind of agree.
And I'm thinking, I love.
Well, and one thing I've done far too much in my life is wallow in self-pity. You know, and unfortunately, I think people are going to do that from time to time. Oh, I think there's a few people out there that may not do it, and I say, God bless them, and that's the way to go.
Okay.
But there are far too many people that wallow in self-pity, I think. And now,
so what would you say to these people?
well, you know,
Because we've been there.
Let's face it. Life, and I don't want to sound too wise, but
Okay, just say it.
but life is a fight to find reason for living throughout life. And stress is something we have throughout life. I mean, even if you're a baby whose diaper needs change, is one of my favorite people in the world. He is my attendant, and him and me are as different as night and day in some ways. In some ways, I think we're the odd couple. But it's worked for us for 12 years. And I'm attendant care is something that's very important to me, because without good attendants, and I've had some other ones besides Cody that have been very good, but without attendant care, I want to be able to get out of bed in the morning. So attendant care is very important to me. And that's all I have to say. Oh, one more thing. I'm sorry. Well, one more last. I'll add a PS to this. And one of the most important ships in life is friendship. Oh, and a good book for kids to read that'll has this message in it. You know, and such an important message is Charlotte's Web. Thank you.
David, thank you so much. I think it was great, everything that you've said. I think there are many points that make us all reflect on life and the importance of being grateful, the importance of paying attention to the people who are our support system and people around us, and how we can think and reflect about life and the choices we make. Thank you so much again, and all of you that have been listening to this and watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and have an amazing day. Thank you.